I came across a story recently which really touched my heart. And in the lead up to Chanukah, it was a story that I wanted to share with you. I'm sure it will inspire each and every one of you and your families. The story relates to a young man, Private Winnegar. He was in the US Army in Europe in the end of the Second World War. His unit were assigned the task of securing a certain village and ensuring there were no hidden Nazis. One night, Winnegar was on patrol and he noticed that there was a mysterious figure that was running across the field. All of a sudden, the figure stops, starts to bend over and dig, and then carries on running. Winnegar aimed his rifle and screamed, "Halt or I'll shoot." The mysterious figure continued running. Rather than shoot, Winnegar decided to give chase. And within a few minutes, he managed to catch up with the assailant and he pounced on him, pinning him to the floor. Lo and behold, to his surprise, rather than it being a hidden Nazi, in fact, it was a young boy. He pulled the boy up to his feet and noticed that in the struggle had fallen an ornate, muddy menorah. Winnegar picked it up in his hands, and the boy was screaming for Winnegar to give it back to him. Winnegar told the boy to calm down. He was amongst friends. The boy was naturally suspicious of anyone in a uniform. After all, he'd been through so much, spending the last couple of years in a concentration camp, having to watch his father being shot and being separated and having lost touch with his mother. Winnegar took the young boy, whose name was David, under his wings, and over the next few weeks they became exceptionally close. He offered David the opportunity to become adopted and move back with him to the States, an opportunity that David agreed to. Back in the States, Winnegar became involved in the Jewish community. One day, a curator from the New York Museum in Manhattan came to the house and he noticed the ornate menorah. He offered David thousands of dollars for such a beautiful, ornate piece of history. He told him that it was only right that such a beautiful menorah should be on display for the whole Jewish community to see this beautiful historic artifact. David refused. For him, he said, it was his family heirloom and had been in his family for over 200 years, and there was no way he was going to part with that menorah for all the money in the world. That Chanukah, David and Winnegar sat down and they lit the beautiful menorah, placing it in the window. Sometime later, there was a knock on the door. A woman with a heavy German accent was standing in front of Winnegar. She said she'd been passing and noticed the menorah in the window. It was exceptionally beautiful, she said, and reminded her of the menorah that used to be in her family home. She wondered if she could be allowed to come in to be able to view and to look at the menorah. Winnegar invited her in. He said that in fact he didn't know much about the menorah, but his adopted son David did. He called for David to come forwards. David came towards the woman, and all of a sudden they both screamed and ran towards each other, embracing and crying uncontrollably. David had been reunited with his mother. David's determination to hold on to his family heirloom at all costs, and his willingness to rekindle the flame of his faith after having experienced so much personal darkness, is very much, I think, the Chanukah story. It was the Hasmoneans' steadfast faith that led to them rekindling the menorah. That in turn reignited the Jewish spirit, and ultimately that brought light to the world at large. In life, we all face challenges on a daily basis. Sometimes it leads to us to feeling a sense of despair and abandonment, but having the flame of our faith at times of darkness enables and empowers us to overcome whatever adversity or challenges we may face.